Welcome back to another video, guys. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how Stack AI and Voiceflow compare to each other with regards to the AI outputs. Now, I've tried to make this as fair as possible, and I'm going to be comparing these technologies based on their responses to generic questions, their history capabilities, and also how it responds to queries outside the knowledge base. So, first things first, I'm going to show you guys the data that I'm building these chatbots on, or embedding into the vector databases, and it's just going to be a bunch of Danko's letters. So I'm just going to take the first 10 letters, as you can see that I've already done here. I've just got 10 of his letters and loaded them into Stack AI. Now, I could have used the one of the offline data loaders and put them all into a single data loader. However, I kind of prefer the outputs that you get from using the individual ones. And also, if we go over to Voiceflow, you can see that I've used the exact same data in this knowledge base. So it's got the exact same data. I'm going to ask the exact same questions. And another important part is I am using the exact same system prompt. So here you can see it says you are Danko, a writer and brand advisor for 7 to 8 figure influencers. Essentially, I've just copied and pasted what he says about himself in his own website. So I can't quite find it. There we go. So basically, just copying what he said here. Yeah, so actually, let me copy and paste this because this is quite effective. Right. So I'm gonna actually change the prompt just a little bit. There we go. You are. So I'm just gonna change this. You are Dan Co, an advisor. You're the guy. So I'm just gonna make it all in first person. Or second person, I don't know. I failed English. They come to when they feel like you help them. There you go. Just changing all of these different points here. Cool. There you go. And I'm going to take that same exact prompt and copy and paste it into Stack AI just to make sure that we have a level playing field. Alright. Delete that and paste that. There we go. This should all be the same. Yep, fantastic. And I'm just going to publish that to make sure that when we do our test, it runs just fine. So as you can see, even with regards to the temperature, they're both set to 0.2. The language model is GPT 3.5 Turbo, which is all going to be, standardized. And then there's a few things I actually want to point out. So first of all, there is limited customization of the large language model on Voiceflow, and I mean things such as I can't control the vector storage process. I can't change the vector store that it uses. In Stack AI, as you can see here, you can see that you can actually choose between Chroma and Pinecone, and also on top of that, inside the settings, I can actually change the embedding type, also the result length. So that's a major constricting factor. Also, you don't get the same prompt. You get a system prompt or a role prompt in, but you don't get the this prompt here as you do in Stack AI. And one more important thing, actually, is that in Voiceflow you can set this chunk limit, but it's not exactly clear how that would translate over to GPT to Stack AI in terms of making sure that it's the same thing. And also max length here I put to 1495. I don't know if that's particularly optimized, but again, you don't get the exact same customization option, which is 100% going to determine some of the outputs for this test. However, it is not in my control, So I've done as much as I can with regards to making it exactly the same. Great. So the first thing I'm going to be testing these. Ooh, I'm going to have to delete that API key now. The first thing that I'm going to be testing these on is going to be the responses to generic questions. So, of course, I'm using Danco's library, so I'm going to be asking it a few questions. So let's say, for example, how do I? What are the 3 things I need to build a business? 3 things I need to build a solid business. Okay, there are not necessarily 3 specific things you need to build a solid business, but it's important to have a holistic understanding of every moving piece of your business you're trying to build. Additionally, marketing and sales are crucial differentiating factors between those that make money and those that don't. Technical skills are important. So marketing and sales require creativity, experience, and big picture understanding of your industry to make work. Now we're going to copy and paste the exact same thing into Stack AI. Let's go. Now let's see what it comes up with. So from my experience, just objectively speaking, it is, Stack AI is much better at producing responses than something like Voiceflow. Actually, the one thing I forgot to do, I need to run this again because I've just changed it. So let me just go to export. Okay, let me publish this again. And then go to export. So you have to make sure you publish it and then export it so that you make sure you have the latest version. Because of course, I've changed the prompt, so I want to make sure that it's the same. Let me just double check that. Yep, cool. Nice. I've already published it. Go to export, follow that link, great. Now we're going to ask it the exact same question and we're going to check the result. Give it a second to load. Okay, clear the chat, ask it again. Okay, and the next question that I'm going to ask it is, what are the 3 things I need to avoid in order to grow my business? So to build a solid business, you need a good product or service, a target audience that want that product, and effective marketing and sales skills. Quite a generic response. Okay, sure. Now we're going to go back to Voiceflow and we're going to ask it, I don't know, what are 3 habits to avoid in order to grow my business? To grow your business, avoid these 3 habits. 1, not dedicating time to education and action around money and fitness. 2, settling for a comfortable life without pursuing new challenges. And 3, not prioritizing personal growth as a gateway to business growth. Remember, to grow your business, you must evolve and change a part of who you are. That is a pretty decent response, not gonna lie. And now let's ask the same thing from Danco GPT over at Stack AI. To grow your business, avoid the habits of not studying successful people in your industry, not focusing on behavior change in your products or services, and not seeking to improve and get results for yourself and your customers. Interesting. 2 very different responses. Okay. Next one, let's say one more question. Let's say I want to grow my my business, but I only have, 3 hours free in my day. How would you recommend? How would you recommend I go about this? Copy that. Let's see the kind of response we get. Nice. Okay. If you only have 3 hours free in your day to grow your business, I recommend prioritizing high impact tasks during that time. Focus on activities that directly contribute to revenue generation or business growth, such as marketing, sales, content creation, or client outreach. Use tools and systems to streamline your workflow and maximize productivity. Consider outsourcing or delegating non-essential skills to free up more time for strategic activities. That is actually really good advice. Okay. Now let's try this over at Voiceflow. To grow your business with limited free time, focus on educating yourself and creating valuable content. Dedicate time to learning from creators you resonate with and distill their learnings through writing, video, and other internet content. As a value creator, you can earn with your mind, not your time, allowing you to scale your business without limiting your income. Remember, education shapes the future and expands your perspective, allowing you to spot opportunities in unknown territory. Act on them like your life depends on it. If we're going to talk about actionable advice that you can actually use for somebody with this kind of issue, let's say they've got a wife and kids, they work a full-time job, and they have a bunch of things to do outside. Let's say they volunteer, they also have to, contribute in all types of different things. They really only have 3 hours free a day. My money is on Stack AI with regards to actually producing an output that will be helpful for this type of individual. Okay. The next step that we're going to be testing this on is the history management. So let's start a brand new conversation with each of these, whereby we're going to test the history and create a chain whereby it's forced to remember how exactly the conversation is going, similar to how you'd expect to have a conversation with ChatGPT. So first of all, let's say something generic such as, hey, I run a marketing agency. Can you give me some tips on how to grow? There we go. Let's copy and paste that. Okay, here are some tips. Define your target audience, showcase your expertise, and build strategic partnerships, offer exceptional customer service, leverage case studies, network and attend industry events, stay updated on industry trends, and there we go. Okay, now let's say, what about if I only have 4 hours free per day? Let's see if it remembers what we're talking about. Okay, we've got our response. So it says, if you only have, as a response to what if I only have 4 hours a day, it tells you if you only have 4 hours a day to work on your goals, make sure you make the most of your free time. Identify high impact skills, plan and schedule your time, eliminate distractions, prioritize self-care and energy management, leverage productivity tools and automation, delegate and outsource, continuously evaluate and optimize, and maintain a healthy work balance to avoid burnout. Okay. So let's say, would this apply to someone with, let's just say, low energy levels? And let's see if he uses the response that it just gave to add that context. Okay. So it's not explicitly linking to marketing Marketing agencies, however, it is able to remember exactly what we're talking about. The fact that that we're referring to, building the business and using certain habits in order to manage growing that business. So let me just ask you. I've never actually tested this, but let's ask you, what business are we talking about? Well, what business do I do? Let's see if it remembers. We might have potentially broke it. Here we go. Okay. So it's not actually responded how we'd expect it. Okay. So let's ask a more specific question of, what business did I tell you I do? Because I think it's thinking that it's a question of what kind of business should I do. Let's see if it responds. And we're going to use these exact same inputs over at Voiceflow to see how it compares. So it's completely failed. Based on the information provided, you did not explicitly mention the specific business you currently do. Maybe it's because the sliding window that we added in terms of the how much memory that it saves doesn't cross over to the current point we are at in the chat, because it was the first message I sent. So perhaps it's not taking it in. We're about to check that. So let's see what the sliding window is. Okay, window size of 10. It should really remember, but okay, it didn't do so well. Let's do the exact same thing with Stack AI, copy and paste everything. Okay. Hey, I run a marketing agency. Can you give me some tips? And the follow-up question is, what if I only have 3 hours a day? Okay, so it talks about marketing, sales, writing, and social media. Study what interests you and build your personal brand. As you grow, expand your product stack, all of that. Fantastic. So, what about if I only have 4 hours per day? Like, although the output is better on Stack, we are judging this based on the actual memory capability. And also, this is lightning quick, I must add. It's much quicker at producing responses than Stack AI. If you only have 4 hours free per day, focus on the principles of marketing, sales, writing, and social media in your spare time. Research your obsession and distill your learning with writing, video, and other internet content. Lifelong self-education to adapt to the changing data-driven landscape is a necessity to do business in this space. Education expands your perspective. Great. Decent. Okay. Doesn't really give me like much useful response like, Stack AI does. Let's ask it the next follow-up question. What's supply to somebody with low energy? Okay. It says, this would apply to somebody with high energy. It's a great way to start building momentum in your business, what writing is. And it allows you to flex your intelligence whilst everyone else competes for looks. Interesting. Additionally, building distribution is the most important concept to the race to riches. And, it also talks about cold email, paid ads, and direct messages. Sure, great. Next response. What business do I do? Actually, I'll ask it the explicit question just to see if it actually remembers. Okay. Yeah, as you can see, they've both kind of failed at producing the right history. Essentially hasn't referred to where it's supposed to. But if you're going to ask me for my money, with regards to the actual quality of responses to generic queries, as well as the history. I'm probably going to give it to Stack AI for the actual responses, but a slight edge to Voiceflow for the history. Although I think that a bit of that does have to do with the settings that I put in Stack AI. But if I'm going to change the settings in Stack AI, I would probably say it's better at recalling history than Voiceflow. But in this specific test, I have to be unbiased. Voiceflow just about edges it, although they both failed in the final hurdle. Now, how do they respond to questions that are completely outside of their remit? For example, I know that Danko does not talk about the real estate business, especially in those 10 articles that I've pulled up. So the next question, after I reset this, and let me clear this as well, is going to be, how do I grow my real estate business? And I'm going to ask it a few different questions that are completely outside of the knowledge base. Just copy that. So it's just going to give you the same thing, marketing and sales. Be aware of your target market's level of awareness and use angles based on the 8 human desires. Additionally, you need to have a list of benefits and proof that you can solve a problem. I mean, risk reversal guarantees, creating... It's not exactly something that is going to, be useful to a real estate agent, so I would say that is a fail. Now let's try Stack AI. This is 10 times better, because again, it's using the same exact knowledge base as Voiceflow. However, you can see here, build a strong online presence. Then it explicitly mentions, explicitly mentions using the platforms to showcase your listings, share valuable content, and engage with the audience, and talking about leveraging online advertising to reach a wider audience and generate leads. Useful information. Build a strong network with other professionals such as mortgage brokers, home inspectors, and contractors. Attend industry events, join real estate associations, participate in networking events. Very useful information, and it just keeps going. It talks about different niches, luxury properties, commercial real estate, specific geographical areas. It talks about using, lead generation tools and online advertising. And it goes on and on, referrals, testimonials, staying up to date in the market. This is extremely, extremely useful and tailored to somebody with a specific query that is outside of Danko's immediate sphere of communication, which means that if you're going to use this kind of technology for something like a info product or somebody in the content creation space, this is the way to go. Now I'm going to ask it another question. How do I grow I don't know, let's say, let's think of another business. I don't know, let's say my gaming channel, my YouTube gaming channel. This should be interesting. And I'll just copy that and make sure I ask the same question in Voiceflow. Okay, define your niche, particular game genre, specific games, unique angle, create high quality content, invest in creating high quality videos with good production value, ensure your audio and video quality are clear, encourage calls to action, collaborate with creators, use SEO strategies, and stay consistent and persistent. Again, this is really useful information that is pulled directly from Dan Koh's own mind as far as what he's already written content on. If I was to ask the same question here, let's see how we get a response. Okay, it just talks about, focus on creating content consistently, build an audience that trusts you, remix your content of interest and get creative with it. Find a big idea that brings traction and milk it for eternity. As you create more videos, you'll become more awkward, less awkward, more concise, more impactful, which will compound your business as your confidence does. Now, obviously, this is way less useful than something like what we got in Stack AI. And I think at this point, we've got a decent, set of tests here, and I would absolutely say Stack AI is my king of AI outputs. However, a big caveat: you're limited to the amount of runs you can get if you're both on the free. I mean, all three tiers actually, but you get a limited number of runs on the free version, and even on the $200 version, you don't get that many runs, especially if you run a chatbot that has a lot of users. You're not going to be able to run it at the $200 a month mark. You're probably going to have to spend a minimum of $900 a month in order to have this running at any kind of scale, which is a big contributing factor with regards to how much you price your chatbots for your clients, or how much you spend on it for your own business. And on top of that, Voiceflow is only $40. It's $40, very cheap to get extra credits. And then on top, but you have to then consider, do I really want this level of quality output, and am I willing to pay that price for it? That's a question that I cannot answer you. But for me personally, I use both. I combine the UI and the workflow in Voiceflow, and then the outputs in Stack. Put them together, it's an AI powerhouse. That's my personal opinion. However, I tend not to use Voiceflow for their outputs. It's just there's not that much customization, and on top of that, as you've seen, the quality of outputs that you get for my target niche, which is mainly information businesses in the information industry, info products, content creators, course creators, things like that. That's why this specific chatbot, Stack AI, wins over for me against Voiceflow if you're gonna make me pick one. So tomorrow I'm going to be going over how you can use chatbots, combine it with affiliate marketing, and absolutely explode the amount of money you can make with a completely new business model that nobody is talking about. It's not going to be easy. However, I'm going to show you something with regards to affiliate marketing and chatbots that you've never heard before, and is likely to make you money if you get in early. So hit the likes, hit the comments, let me know if there's anything you want to hear from me, any kind of tutorials, and if you are interested in getting your own chatbot built for your business, reach out to me, tj.ai on Instagram, tj_ai on Twitter, or you can go to, actually you can't, scaleMyBiz.ai is down for maintenance right now, but you can reach out to me on those two different platforms, or LinkedIn, Tatenda Kenyeri. All my platforms are down below. You can find me there, and I will create a free prototype for your organization if you qualify. So reach out to me and let's see how I can help you scale your business. Thank you for tuning in. I'll catch you guys soon.